Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Daily on CCTV. We're so thankful that you can spend your Wednesday morning with us.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. Wherever you're watching us from, whether you're watching on Facebook, on DSTV, channel 363, wherever it is you're watching us from, it's good, beautiful Wednesday morning here in Accra, Ghana. And my name is David Kwaku. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. Of course, it's an interactive show. We want to know how your morning is going. We want to know what you have in plan for the rest of the week and the rest of the month. So let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily.
Yes, and our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, some of you are in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and so on, use the country code +233.
Now, there's so many crazy things happening in the world right now, and
Dziffa.
it takes extra effort for us to be positive, to really keep the spirit, keep hope alive.
Well, we do start the show off with a quote of the, some words of inspiration and positivity. So let's take a look at our quote of the day today.
And of course, we always want to make sure that we stay updated on everything that is happening in the world. And it's an election year, it's voting season. So we have a show for you called Voters Diary. And on Voters Diary, you can tune in at 1 p.m. on 97.3 City FM, as well as 3 p.m. on City TV. Voters Diary is that show that will help you stay updated. Now we can go back to our quote and all learn from our words of inspiration this morning.
Absolutely.
Self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control, these three alone lead to power. It's coming from Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's so important to remember that everything is hinged on who it is that we are. Self-reverence, self-knowledge, is very, very important. Self-control, to be in charge of who it is that you are, as a person. It's very, very critical. Once you have focused on these three things, like Lord Tennyson says, these are the three things that lead to power. Absolutely.
Yeah, and everything in the world starts with the self, so there's only so much that your parents can do, there's only so much that your partner can do, there's only so much that the people around you can do, but you have to get in touch with what is inside, and it's perfectly fine if you have not yet figured out where to get that strength for within. Even acknowledging that you need to get to that point is a great step, and we are all a work in progress. We wake up every day and figure out how to be better versions of ourselves. And at the end of the day, we spend more time with us than anyone else. So we need to look out for ourselves.
Yeah. Like we were saying earlier on, so much going on around in the world that's crazy right now. But some good things are also happening. We are making progress towards the elections. The EC has come out with the final list of those who will appear on our ballot for 7th December. So let's take a look at that report. We'll come back and continue the conversation.
President Akua of the governing New Patriotic Party will go neck to neck with former President John Dramani Mahama of the largest opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, on the 2020 presidential ballot. This is the outcome of the balloting done by the parties on Tuesday. The NDC, prior to the balloting, expressed reservations about the Commission's approach to the exercise.
We are coming to do balloting. The essence of balloting is transparency and remove every element of bias. What we are saying is that there are 12 political parties. 11 political parties, one independent candidate. They are not going to the ballot. But to remove the element of bias, it is just fair that we see how the ballot is prepared in front of us. It's just 1 to 11. It is for this reason why even the main election, the ballot paper, it is provided in the law that political parties provide agents at the printing house.
But the party was satisfied after it picked the second position for its presidential and parliamentary candidates.
We are very happy about the number that we have picked. In actual fact, that was what we were expecting. We came in for 2 and we got 2. God has spoken, and it's too sure. The second coming of JM, and you know what it means. When you talk about second coming, we talk about return.
So are you satisfied?
And yes, indeed, we are really satisfied. We are really satisfied.
For the NPP, though they would have preferred the number 4 position on the ballot, the number 1 position they secured is equally as significant and relevant.
It makes it very easier because in terms of all spheres of our economy, we are the number 1. In terms of infrastructure development, in terms of managing the economy well, in terms of getting international recognition, in terms of everything in this country, Nana Addo has paved the way. He's the number 1.
These positions balloted for are significant for the orderly conduct of the polls. A deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission in charge of operations, Samuel Tete, explains.
Where a candidate withdraws before the printing of the ballot papers, his or her position on the ballot paper shall be occupied by the next parliamentary candidate. This will, however, not apply if the withdrawal involves the last candidate on the ballot paper. 2, where a presidential candidate exists but without a parliamentary candidate, the next parliamentary candidate will be shifted upwards. By implication, a political party may be number 2 on the presidential ballot paper, but will be number 1 on the parliamentary ballot paper due to the shift.
With this done, the Electoral Commission is expected to start processes for the printing of the ballot papers. The various political parties participating in the process will be written to, so they can delegate representatives to observe.
So there you have it. We have President Kwaku representing the NPP at number 1. NDC is at number 2. Ghana Union Movement is at number 3. Conventions People Party is at number 4. Ghana Freedom Party number 5. Great Consolidated People's Party is at number 6. All People's Congress number 7. Liberal Party Ghana number 8. People's National Congress is at number 9. Progressive People's Party is at number 10. At number 11, we have, okay, I think this might have been an error there because we have the National Democratic Party at number 11. And finally, we have an independent candidate for number 12. Yeah. So come December 7th, we know when people are reading meanings to it, that if the voter looks down, we know who they are voting for. If they look way up, you know, but I'm glad that at least the 2 dominant parties are happy. NDC saying it's the second coming. Yeah. NPP saying he's the chosen one. Yeah. We are leading the charge, everything else. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, but, you know, but it's interesting because some people also make the argument and say that, well, you see, the last time you got number 1, you didn't win, you know. So
you get number 1.
And then if you remember, I think it was Kufuor's second time. You know, MPP was last on the ballot. Wow. So then that's when the Asieho song came. You know, the whole thing was Asieho, you know. So I think that to a certain large extent, for the undecided voter, you know, some of these things do make a difference, because at the end of the day, it's what is entrenched in your mind as you go to the polls, you know. So the whole Asieho thing, it was like a big hype in town, you know. People were singing the songs and, you know, making the gestures and all of that, you know. So then for people who are undecided, it was very easy for them when they got to the polls to be influenced by what they had seen and heard in town. You know, of course, once the people are already decided, that one you can't sway their minds.
Yeah.
You know? But then I think it does have some kind of impact on people who are not yet fully decided. But like you said, I mean, the 1 and 2 the two major parties, really. And you can't tell when you're standing somewhere far away whether the person is voting for one or voting for two.
You'll be shocked that some of these politicians can't tell. Like you tilted your head a little bit, you angled it, so we know that you voted for a different number than one.
Yeah.
But you know, it's great. For me, I find it refreshing that we have 3 women representing there. We know that independent candidates, you know, some of these smaller parties, they'll be even lucky if they get 5%. But I think the fact that they can even go out there and, you know, make their bid, it's refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, I think, you know, initially there was a lot of hue and cry about whether we're going to be able to make it on time and all of these things. And it's good to see that despite a lot of kicking and, you know, making a lot of noise and kicking a fuss and all of that, still we're making some progress. And we are going consistently and systematically towards the election with, you know, of course, there's still a lot of misgivings from different sides. But generally speaking, we're going there quite well. Quite well,
And unfortunately, in Nigeria, we have the EndSARS protests. Young Nigerians have been going onto the streets for weeks now. And yesterday, I think something that none of us thought would happen happened, you know, which is just killing peaceful protesters, shooting to kill peaceful protesters in this day and age. And Nigeria really represents the core of Africa. If something is going on in Nigeria, we all need to pay attention. We all need to care. It's different for us to see this happening in other parts of the world, but for this to happen in this generation, in the 21st century, people are just protesting peacefully. For people to lose their lives because they want to show that they are not happy with what's happening, I think it's sad, and I think it's time for all African leaders to speak up, to protect Nigerian citizens. Buhari has spoken up, but the young people of Nigeria are saying it's too little, too late. He should have said something earlier. He should have done something earlier. It's not just about disbanding SARS, but actually looking at the whole system, the entire ecosystem, and saying, how do we protect our young people and stop targeting them and making them feel like criminals in their own country?
You know, the protest that has been going on around the country basically was pretty much without, you know, there were some injuries, but I don't think there were any deaths, you know, as it went around until yesterday. Now, yesterday's own, for me, what stands out is that they went to Lekki. You know, and Lekki, for those who know Nigeria well, Lekki is probably the richest part of the city of Lagos. You know, that's where all the who's who, you know, of Nigeria, that's where they live. You know, so then it brings to the fore this question of the disparity of the wealthy versus those who don't have, you know, the haves and the have-nots, and the fact that they will send military men, you know, into to the toll booth at the Lekki toll booth, and then to open fire on citizens. I mean, I think it's so unacceptable. It's so, you know, and for me, the silence of African leaders is very, very loud. You know, very, very loud, because I've been seeing things on Twitter, for example, when Trump said that he had come down with COVID, within minutes, African leaders, different African leaders, including our own president, you know, had sent messages of, you know, commiseration to him and you know, wishing him well and speedy recovery. What about what's happening in Nigeria? You see, and our president is the chairman of ECOWAS, which means that the overarching organization that looks after the entire region, he's in charge. Why the silence? I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen anything, you know, from him, but I haven't seen anything from him, you know, and I think it's important for him to speak, you know, and I'm not sure what it is that is stopping him from saying anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the president of Nigeria, Buhari, needs to do a lot more than just talking about disbanding SARS, because what they've done is to remove the name SARS and says SARS doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't mean the people who committed crimes, the people who committed heinous crimes against humanity, they are still there. You know, and whether you change it from SARS to SWAT or whatever it is that you're going to create, the people are still there. There needs to be an entire reform of the police force in Nigeria, and that's what the people are calling for. This is what Nigerians are calling for. You know, we need a full review and a reformation of the police force in Nigeria.
Yeah, and for the young people in Nigeria, the entire world is watching. We are all with you. We stand in solidarity with you. I think the beautiful thing about our generation is we don't need our leaders to say anything for the world to see that we are being oppressed and we are not being treated well. So the silence, the whole world is watching. And unfortunately for us in the continent, wherever you go outside Africa, you'll find a Nigerian there. So it's really easy for people to even mistake you as an African for a Nigerian. So all the African countries have a stake in Nigeria being peaceful because they represent all of us. If Nigeria is unstable, the world is going to think the entire continent is unstable and we will pay the price for it. But it's time for us to take a look at what's happening in the world of news across the country with News Roundup.
Good morning and welcome to News Roundup on City TV. From the Ashanti region, my name is Hafiz Tijani. Coming up, a Chinese national is on admission at the Konfanoti Teaching Hospital after he was shot by some unidentified gunmen at Ahujo, a suburb of the Ashanti region. The incident, which happened on Tuesday, comes a day after a 36-year-old man, Maxwell Aheto, was killed by some unknown gunmen at Atonsu in the Akua municipality. Some residents have described the recent developments as worrying and have thus made a passionate appeal to the police to address the growing incidents of violent crime in the region. Also, the vice presidential candidate of the opposition National Democratic Congress, Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has ended a 6-day campaign tour of the Ashanti region with a call on electors to vote massively for the NDC in the December polls. During her tour to some of the areas in the region, the NDC's running mates called on electors in the region to vary their pattern of voting in favor of the NDC. In separate interactions with the chiefs and people of the areas she visited, Professor Opoku-Agyeman reiterated the party's commitment to bring development to the people and improve their living standards if it wins the 2020 general elections. National chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, who was part of the team, urged inhabitants in Zongo communities to vote massively for the party to enable it win the 2020 elections. He said the next NDC government will prioritize the development of critical infrastructure in Zongos. Finally, members of the Ghana Association of Importers and Sellers of Used Fridges in the Ashanti region have appealed to the government to reconsider its decision to ban the importation of used refrigerators into the country. They have therefore threatened to hit the streets if the government fails to heed their plea. The association claims that the majority of its members are out of business following the announcement by the government to enforce the ban. The situation, they say, is having a negative impact on the livelihood of their members. That will be it for News Roundup from the Ashanti region. My name is Hafiz Tijani.
Good morning and welcome to the News Roundup from the Bono East region. I am Michael Chachu Aholu. Residents of Fancy Newtown, Aboso and Kensen Engineer-Brand communities in the Tishiman municipality are expectant as the Sanitation Ministry embarks on a project to clear the overflowing refuse dumps. The refuse dumps, which are 9 in total, have been in existence for several decades, posing serious health risks for residents. Businesses in the area have also been affected negatively as the stench drives off customers. Speaking to City News, the Techiman Municipal Environmental Officer, Charles Kwating Champong, said the exercise will lead to better sanitary conditions in the municipality. The project is part of the Sanitation Ministry's nationwide program to shut down illegal dump sites. In other news, cashew farmers in the Techiman North District are appealing to the government to establish a cashew board which will regulate and stabilize cashew prices. According to the farmers, the fluctuating prices and lack of support from the government is unfortunate a situation they described as worrying. Speaking to City News, the farmers say they are confident such a move will impact positively on them. This request of the cashew farmers comes on the back of the recent increase in cocoa prices. In other news, the Vice President, Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, will commence a 2-day visit of the Bono East region on Wednesday. He will commence with a deba in the Senate East constituency at Kajiji, from where he shall proceed to Kwame Danso in the Senate West constituency, and then to Atibubu in the Atibubu Amanten constituency. During his visit, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is expected to meet with NPP parliamentary candidates in the region. The New Patriotic Party seeks to win the majority of parliamentary seats in the region. Well, that does it for the News Roundup from the Bono East region. I am Michael Chachu Aholu.
Good morning and welcome to the News Roundup from the Upper East region. My name is Frederick Awuni. The Northern Development Authority, NDA, has donated relief items and foodstuffs to support residents in the Upper East region who were affected by the floods. Hundreds of residents in the region were affected by the floods caused by the spillage of the Bagri Dam from neighboring Burkina Faso, coupled with torrential rains within the month of August. The floods killed 4 people, submerged farmlands, and collapsed houses, rendering some residents homeless. In an attempt to ameliorate the plight of the flood victims, the Northern Development Authority has presented food items and other relief items to the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, for onward distribution to the affected persons. Speaking at the occasion in Bogatanga, Chief Executive Officer of the NDA, Dr. Alhassan Suleiman Anamzoya, said the intervention is part of their corporate social responsibility to help mitigate the negative impact of the disaster on the affected persons. For his part, the Upper East Regional Coordinator of NADMO, Jerry Asamani, commended the efforts of the NDA and appealed for more support. Some rice farmers in the Fumbisi and Bedelimbisi rice valleys in the Busa South District of the Upper East region are appealing to government to come to their aid by providing combined harvesters, drying places, and further facilitate for ready market for their produce to avert any rice glut. According to the rice farmers, despite government assurances to address last year's rice glut by providing sufficient combined harvesters among others, very little has been done in that regard. Some farmers who were harvesting told City News the rice was going bad due to inadequate drying places and lack of ready market. They want government to urgently come to their aid. And finally, over 200 supporters of the National Democratic Congress in the Longo electoral area of the Bongo constituency in the Upper East region have defected to the governing New Patriotic Party. According to them, the decision is to protest the years of neglect by the NDC, a situation that has rendered the constituency underdeveloped. The defectors, who describe the area as a stronghold of the NDC, where the incumbent Member of Parliament, Edward Bauer, hails from, said the NDC government has over the years failed to address their development needs despite the massive votes the party enjoys. Thus, their decision. Spokesperson for the defectors and former NDC Balungu Zonal Chairman, Matthias Agambiri, said it was time to support a development-oriented and people-centered new patriotic party, hence their decision. The NPP parliamentary candidate for the Bongo constituency, who doubles as the district chief executive for Bongo, Peter Ayenbisa, commended the NDC defectors and pledged to further develop the area when elected as the next Member of Parliament for the Bongo constituency. And that ends the news roundup from the Upper East region. My name is Frederick Awuni.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the news from the Central region. My name is Georgina Apia. The people of the Akua and surrounding communities, otherwise known as Aunakwe in Cape Coast, are asking the government to urgently address their developmental needs. The people bemoan the lack of social amenities, including toilet facilities, clinic and marketplace for traders in the area. They are unhappy that the communities dotted along the UCC to Elmina stretch of the Cape Coast Takrady Road are compelled to openly defecate at the beach because of the lack of toilet facilities. They say politicians take them for granted and that no government has paid attention to the needs of the area, even though they vote every election in the life of the Fourth Republic. A number of the people who spoke to City News indicated that their standard of living would influence their decision in the upcoming elections. Meanwhile, some electorates at Abakem in Cape Coast North constituency say for the intransigence of politicians, they are prepared to literally sell their votes in the December 7th elections. For them, that is the only way to get over the insensitivity of various administrations to their developmental needs. Most of the residents who spoke to City News narrate the unpleasant ordeal of voting for governments who in turn neglect the needs of the community. While urging the government to address their pressing developmental needs, some residents say they have resolved to sell their votes to the highest bidder. And finally, the Central Regional Police Command has charged the NDC parliamentary candidate for Aguna West, Paul Ofori Amoa, with abetment and planning to commit murder. The parliamentary candidate reported to the Central Regional Police Headquarters in Cape Coast upon an invitation by the police. According to the Public Relations Officer of the Central Regional Police Command, DSP Opon, the NDC parliamentary candidate admitted to issuing 2 checks that were found on the 4 suspects who were arrested in Aguna Swedro Saturday night upon a tip-off. The incumbent Member of Parliament for Aguna West, Cynthia Morrison, is reported to have made a formal complaint that the 4 men who were arrested in a hotel in Aguna Swedro had plotted to kill her. The suspects have been remanded in police custody by a Cape Coast Circuit Court presided over by Her Honor Dorinda Smith Arthur to reappear on the 30th of this month. And that does it for the news from the Central region. My name is Georgina Apia.
And that's it for the news making rounds across the country.
Absolutely. Well, we have a lot coming up in the show for you, so don't go anywhere. After this break, we'll be right back with the news review segment. My name is David Kukusechi.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. Phil will be joining us later. What would you guys be discussing?
No, we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that hidden for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wait.
We'll let them know soon. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
It is Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? A new car, a vacation, or expand your business? Make your wish and have it come true in the 100 days of Christmas with a Republic Bank Christmas loan. The Republic Christmas loan is quick, easy, and so affordable with super fast turnaround time. Come into any of our branches nationwide. Call or WhatsApp 055-654-3212 or apply online via republicghana.com. Remember, wear your nose mask, stay safe. Republic Bank, we are the one for you.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204-528-900 or 0244-707-859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
The 12 candidates have officially picked their positions. We all know which parties belong where, and we are well equipped to decide who will lead us in the next 4 years on December 7th. This is the news review segment of Breakfast Daily. We'll take a look at our newspaper headlines, some online stories, and then we'll introduce our guests who are already seated. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have battle lines drawn. 12 candidates pick positions. That story is on page 3. Government revives affordable housing scheme, 200 units to be delivered yearly. That story is on page 16. 2017-2018 Agric Census Report launched. That story is on page 16 of the Daily Graphic. We'll now go on to the Custodian. On the front page of the Custodian, we have President's strong leadership key to COVID-19 success. It's coming from Information Minister Kojo Opong Kroma, and that story is on page 2. We are investing in infrastructure, not rearing flying guinea fowls. That's coming from Vice President Dr. Mamadou Bawumia, and that story is on page 2. NPA replies tanker drivers over Hassan Tampoli. That story is on page 2. And finally, ignore Mahama on election rigging plot EC to Ghanaians. That story is on page 3. There's another interesting story here that I think we should look at. It's coming from the president, and he's saying businesses should take full advantage of AFTA. We'll now take a look at the new Crusading Guide. On the front page of the new Crusading Guide, we have "You Deserve Second Term, Volta Chief to President Akua." That story is on pages 3 and 10 of the new Crusading Guide. Cocoa Road's Audit Report, Part 2 of Executive Summary. Story on pages 6 and 7. When I take a look at our final newspaper, I'm talking about the Daily Statesman. On the front page of the Daily Statesman, we have Akua urges Ghanaian businesses to take advantage of AFTA. Story on page 2. NPP is number 1 on ballot paper. That story is also on page 2. Ghana first in Africa, third in the world in COVID-19 management. That story is on page 2 of the Daily Statesman. We'll now take a look at some online stories. We'll start from citynewsroom.com. On citynewsroom.com, we have Greater Accra NDC accuses EC of breaching rules on transfer of votes. NDC's position on ballot shows God-ordained second coming of Mahama. It's coming from the NDC, and that's how they are interpreting NDC being number 2 on the ballot box. NPP's first position on ballot paper, fantastic. So the NPP is also saying Akufo-Addo is first in many things. So this shows that, you know, he's first to go. Volta region, you are a competent, compassionate, visionary leader. Chief to Akufo-Addo. Of course, now we'll take a look at some business news from citybusinessnews.com. On citybusinessnews.com, we have AFTA Secretariat to launch new digital payment platform to facilitate trade. This is great news. All the fintechs out there, I'm sure they are very happy about this. Group to strike on October 28 over Magri lump sum benefits for retirees. GITC advocates for anti-dumping duty on imported aluminum products. Ken Ofori-Atta completes tenure as chair of World Bank's Development Committee. Ghana's increase in mobile phones penetration creates more jobs for phone repairers. Now we'll take a look at some more local news from myjoyonline.com. First-class graduates rejected by Ghana School of Law becomes Doctor of Law. Congratulations to him. You can get all of your news from citynewsroom.com, and you can get all of your business news from citybusinessnews.com. Now it is an interactive show, so wherever you're watching us from, we want to hear from you. If you're on Facebook, you can comment down below. If you're on other social media platforms, the hashtag to use to join the conversation is Breakfast Daily. And if you want to reach us directly, our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, you can use the country code +233, and we will still receive your messages. I have been joined by Dziffa, who is a member of the National Communications member of the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning, Dziffa.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you too.
I also have with me Lady Vera Ruidu, who's a member of the NPP Communications team member. Good morning, Lady Vera.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It's myself.
We'll take a look at our first story here. I'm going to read from Daily Graphic, and it says, battle lines drawn. 12 candidates pick positions. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, President Akufo-Addo, and that of the National Democratic Congress, former President John Dramani Mahama, yesterday picked up the first and the second spots, respectively, on the ballot for the 2020 presidential elections scheduled for December 7th. 9 other candidates of political parties who have qualified to contest the presidential elections also booked their spots on the ballot paper after participating in the balloting. At the end of the process, which lasted about 2 hours, the flag bearer of the Ghana Union Movement, Mr. Christian Kwabena Andrews, picked up the 3rd spot, while Mr. Ivor Kwabena Greenstreet of the Convention People's Party, it goes on and on. So CPP picked number 4, GFP pick number 5, GCPP pick number 6, ACP pick number 7, LGP picked number 8, PNC picked number 9, PPP picked number 10, NDP picked number 11, and finally Alfred Kwame Esiedu Walker, who's an independent candidate, picked number 12. So I'll start with you, lady, on this. NPP picking number 1, NDC number 2, and the other parties continuing on.
Thank you very much. You are Dziffa and she's Dziffa. I wish my name also starts with D so that it will flow. Yeah, it's just on a lighter note. Let me take this opportunity to say good morning to your cherished viewers out there. It's because of them we are here this morning. And then after that, a very big good morning to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He's in the Volta region, OT environs. And I think, like you rightfully read, most of the chiefs out there are commending him and are calling on Ghanaians to give His Excellency Nana Addo a second term.
We'll be taking a look at that.
Yeah,
shortly,
and they highlighted on how competent he is, incorruptible, and how compassionate he is based on all the things he's done and he continues to do. So I say, I salute you, His Excellency, wherever you are this morning, and then the team, and then a very good morning to all the women out there, fantastic Ghanaian women. And as the viewers can see, this morning we are all women on the set, and it's great for Mother Ghana, and it's great for journalism, and it's great for the media. And so I would commend everybody out there for this. Going straight to the issue of the ballot and the position, I think that among the 12 candidates, I will say that NPP is the luckiest, NPP is the blessed, and NPP is so excited about yesterday's ballot. First and foremost, you can see that EC made sure that the safety protocols were all observed instead of the usual procedure where you all kind of crowd and pick your numbers. This time they gave them numbers, so you come one after the other based on the first or the initial numbers you pick. Then you come and take the actual ballot numbers, and so they were able to observe the protocols and all that. And then fortunately for NPP, Almighty gave NPP the #1 slot, which I think everybody in NPP is so excited about. And I would quickly touch on 5 reasons why I think that every Ghanaian needs to be excited, and all NPP members out there needs to be excited about the #1. And so the 5 main points that I have elaborated is that first and foremost, NPP is the #1 political party that have so far implemented unprecedented initiatives and programs and a whole lot in Ghana.
Yes, we'll get to what the numbers mean, but let me allow Dziffa also give us her impressions of NDC getting #2 as well as the other parties. Good morning, Dziffa.
Good morning, dear. Good morning once again to you. I love calling your name, you know. And to Vera here, and to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the former President of Ghana and the incoming President of Ghana once again.
Okay.
And to my parliamentary candidate, Theresa Awuni, I love her so much, wherever she is. Good morning to her. So we picked #2. We are excited because we were hoping to pick #2.
Okay.
It's as equal. You know how names are significant in our lives. When you are naming your child, you particularly want a certain name that the child would live by. So even though this is just balloting and it's just a number that everyone is picking, it isn't just any number. It's significant. It tells a story, or it shows some sort of vision. And I couldn't have thought of any better number than #2, which everyone will agree, not just NDC, that it is significant to the fact that Mahama is coming the second time and he's going to win the second time. Okay. I'm so excited. I am not a very religious person, so I don't want to relate it to religion or anything, but I think this is a sign that yes, we are under. We are already, you know, we've been doing so much and it's been yielding good results. And, you know, just this is the last, I think, phase the EC has to take us through before the actual elections. Yes. So we go through this one and it's victory for us too. I'm really, really excited. And I heard the NPP is also excited about their #1 position. But John Boydu mentioned, oh, we're hoping for #4 in the article. He said, oh, we're hoping for #4, but if God has given us #1, you know, it's fantastic.
But what's so wrong with number 1 versus #4? Aren't they just numbers?
I will tell you what's wrong with #1 versus #4. Now, first of all, they were hoping for #4 because they have been roaming doing form of Fanana, hoping that it will stick in people's minds when they go on the when they go to vote on the D-Day, they will see #4 and they remember form of Fanana. That swept them. They have a very popular T-shirt called oh, what's the name? Round 2. Thank you.
You seem to know a lot about the NPP.
Yeah, of course. You have to know a lot about your opponent. So there is this T-shirt called Round 2, and you know,
with the glasses.
Yeah, with the glasses, and you know, they keep screaming in people's heads, like or in ears, saying Round 2, and Round 2 seems to be favoring us. But again, let me just say that there is a very bad history for a #1 candidate in Ghana.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
In 2008, there was the NPP took #1 position, they lost. In 2012, they took #1 position, they lost. In 2016, yes, the NDC took that and we lost. And finally, the NPP has taken #1 position. I am not saying anything.
Isn't it a coincidence?
But, well, they should pray it is. But in any case, they can be excited. They can't. In fact, if they took #5 or #8, they wouldn't have been able to say anything.
Really?
Like, yeah, I mean, that is what you've picked. You go along with it.
Exactly.
Yes, and John Boydu said, we're hoping for #4. Same thing with you
guys as well.
Same thing with us, yes. But, you know, God is the determinant of all these things. So, up picking #1, everyone thinks it is fantastic, you say, just to cover things up, but they are not happy. But we are extremely happy, and we thank God for, you know, showing us the light and telling the whole of Ghanaians that we are winning come December 2020. Yeah.
Okay, but before the balloting, your Deputy General Secretary had an issue with the way EC was conducting things. I'm going to quote what he said, and that's Mr. Peter Boama Otukono. He accused the EC of conducting the process in secrecy and asked that the Commission allow all stakeholders to supervise how the materials used in the balloting were processed. I'm going to quote what he said. Let's see the ballot papers you are using to do the balloting so that it will be transparent to eliminate rigging of positions on the ballot paper. We are all happy that you guys ended up being happy with it, but what were his concerns really?
Okay, so you know we are very suspicious of the EC. I don't think this is new. It's because during the whole registration process, or ever since the chair was sworn in, and there hasn't been so much transparency, according to us. Not even according to us. I mean, there are several cases that everyone knows.
But they've made a case for being very transparent with everything they do. But go ahead.
Oh, I can counter that.
We'll get to that story.
Yeah,
Thankfully, it's the next story.
It hasn't always been, yes. So we knew that usually the EC is in bed with the current government, and the whole process.
But they said the same thing about Charles Osei and NDC.
Well, you see, when you say it, you have to add proof. You have to give me facts. That
you don't think the NPP
had facts?
Proof?
No.
And you think NDC has
enough? You know,
proof?
ours is not even about proof. Ours is about what is going on. Everyone is there to see. I'm not talking about things that were happening indoors, or should I say behind closed doors, where the usual Ghanaian didn't know. Every Ghanaian that follows current affairs in Ghana knows that there were several things that the EC did that didn't show transparency in this.
Well, that's your opinion.
That is my opinion, and that is the opinion of several other Ghanaians, not just me.
You continue to that.
So yes, so we didn't see the balloting materials and other things. For instance, when you are at an election ground, the way, if we are even counting ballots, the way it is being brought out for everybody to see, okay, this is empty and everything, it's being shuffled and all, that process wasn't seen. And we were, you know, jittery. Okay. We do not want to leave everything as it is. We just wanted to demand that let us see the process. That is what Otukono was asking, because at the end of the day, if we keep quiet and everything, the balloting goes on, and we seem not to be happy with how it went on, that isn't the time to complain. But you have the opportunity to express your concerns before, so that if they have to correct it, if they aren't aware, they would correct it. If they have intentions of doing something, they would see that we are on guard, you understand, and then they would probably fall in the right shape. So that is just it. It's as simple as that. We just wanted to express our concerns, and then they go according to how they're going to go, so that we don't have to be complaining after the whole process is done.
All right.
And then it will be like we are troublemakers or something like that.
So we're happy things went the way you wanted.
Things went well.
Thank you, Dziffa. I'm so excited that my dear sister and a friend has affirmed. They are saying that they have short memory. I'm so excited, and this confirms. I will tell you the reason why. Okay. And this confirms their level of incompetence and inconsistency. Why do I say this? In 2016, you can let your producer Google right now. Flag bearer or candidate John Mahama never picked #1, as she just alluded to. Flag bearer or candidate Mahama picked #3.
Okay.
And so this assertion that they picked #1 in 2016 and lost, and so NPP picking #1 in 2020 will lose. I mean, this shows clearly that they don't know what they are doing as usual. And of course, they suffer from the short memory syndrome and the inconsistency. So 2016, it was #3 for flag bearer now candidate Mahama. Yeah, it was 3, and they even campaigned on John 3:16, John 3:16, John 3:16, and then they will now put
and 3 John.
No, and then it was also to affirm the #3, and then the Onapo song we used to celebrate. As after December, we will use their song to celebrate. So that is just to respond briefly to that wrong information given out there that I need to always consistently correct. So going to the #1. First and foremost, His Excellency Nana Addo, the compassionate, the incorruptible, and then the competent leader, the #1 gentleman on the land. That's one. #2, he belongs to a party that up to this morning in the history of the Fourth Republic, they have, and I mean the NPP party and His Excellency, they've been able to implement unprecedented things in this country, and they continue to do so. Number 3, my reason and the reason why the party is excited is that, you see, numbers have some little role, not so much, to play in your fortunes. Now, when you have #1, and then your parliamentary candidates also have a different number, it kind of confuses the electorate. Okay. So all the NPP PCs are going for 1. And then the presidential is also 1. So it makes it very easy than, for instance, we go and take #3, 4, 5, 6 or something, and then the parliamentary candidate is something else.
But you wanted #4.
I don't know about that.
What I know, said you wanted #4.
What I know is that the 4 is about the 4 more Ghanaians all over the place are saying they want to give to His Excellency Nana Addo. But you see, the candidates are 12. So once the #1 is at the top, the moment you go, you just vote. So that is one advantage. And we know that even divinely, we know that Almighty is Alpha. And Alpha is #1. And then when you put that even aside, you know that His Excellency and the gentleman of the land, he was the first to file his documents at the EC office. You see, the advantage in all this is you first and foremost make it very easy at the various constituency levels for them to campaign. It's number one for His Excellency Nana Addo. It is number one for unprecedented implementation of the wonderful policies this government has brought to fore, and the NPP in general. And then it is number one. I mean, you just go, you don't need to stress yourself.
Okay.
The moment you go, you see the beautiful, bright, touching colors of the NPP. You see the elephant there. You see the gentleman of the land there. Everybody knows Nana Addo.
Okay.
And so you go, and then so the various constituencies is just about, oh, you go number one for His Excellency as you already want to do so, and then your parliamentary candidate goes hand in hand. So I think it's fantastic. And then the number two, of course, the second defeat. I mean, heavy second defeat of candidate Mahama.
You don't believe it's the second coming?
There cannot be any second coming for candidate John Mahama because that is what the Ghanaians are saying. I mean, if Nana Addo and NPP have been able to implement free SHS that another person said it can never be done, and even if so, after 20 years, and freebies are not something that Ghanaians deserve. I mean, you know, definitely Ghanaians are going to vote for His Excellency Nana Addo. If in the midst of crisis, in the midst of pandemic, we are able to enjoy free water and electricity, unless of course you are at a place that you have a challenge with water flowing through your taps. But we know the thousands and thousands of Ghanaians who are enjoying this, and then we also know that we have a lot of employment going on. I mean, over 2 million jobs when under the person who is going to get the heaviest second defeat froze employment in Ghana because of IMF conditionalities. And then for so many years, people sat home. Now, the conditionalities is being lifted because of good governance and better economic management. So, Ghanaians are the best judge. And when you go around, you get the feel. You get the feel that, you know, His Excellency Nana Addo, you are so compassionate. I mean, when other world economy is crashing, people are even going back into lockdown. We are here today. It's gone so down that, the three of us are here without masks. It tells you that, the situation is being managed better. And I think there is even a new survey that came up that Ghana and His Excellency Nana Addo managed the pandemic better in Africa and third in the world. And even in the midst of all that, a lot of freebies, which is unimaginable. You look at all the infrastructure going on, it's mind-blowing. And everybody is saying 4 more, we want to give you additional 4 years because most of the things you've implemented, some of them are fully completed, some are 90%, 85%, 70%. We are going to vote number one, gentlemen, we are going to vote for you.
Well,
so you complete
NDC also
all
rated
that.
You guys, and it wasn't.
Well, like I said, just concluding on that. Like I said, it's not about NDC judging. It is about the Ghanaians and the electorate and those who are watching us this morning.
But they
judging.
are also part of Ghanaians.
They are part of Ghanaians who are trying to discredit the government, and it's so impossible. They've tried every single thing, and it's falling to the ditch.
Thank you very much. So, Dziffa, we agree that Mahama picked number 3.
Number 3.
On the
so,
ballot. But
yes.
I respond to the other stuff.
Yes, in relation to that, in any way, the others or the history of the others. Let's say I just made that mistake. So the history of the others will tell you that number 1 is definitely not a favorable position.
But I picked it in number 12 in 2012.
Yes, I'm not saying. There has been several other losses in elections even before 2008. You understand? And there were different numbers that they picked. I'm just telling you that it has happened. And you know, now let me even say with the NPP. So let me now even target to the NPP.
Okay.
That whenever they pick number 1, it's a total flop. So I still stand on that.
Okay, which years are you looking at?
I'm talking about the 2008 and 2012. Whenever they pick number 1, it's a total flop.
Fine.
So in any case, if I even made a mistake with that one at all, I am referring back to them. And they are, yes, they don't have
that's fine.
Yes, exactly.
We have some messages from our viewers, so I'll read them. Mama G in Kaswa says, history is going to repeat itself again as Nana Addo appears on the ballot paper as number 1. Ghanaians are going to vote massively based on infrastructure, good policies, and great interventions. Sally Fu from Kaswa says, as presidential candidates are arranged on the ballot, so it will be declared. Nanado is already a winner. He tops all. God bless you for your good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. The first position for NPP on the ballot paper signifies another one term for President Nanado, whilst for the Yanum second wave of defeat for JM is loading. As I keep saying, President Nanado will retire Mahama from active politics. All right, Sami Buachi from Asaman Kese says, God has been so good. The position on the ballot paper will surely remain the same. All right, Mystic. The number 2 position of NDC on the ballot signified the second coming of the second term of John Dramani Mahama to rescue Ghanaians from the hands of the NPP. We, the people of EndSARS, are paying very huge electricity bills, so I challenge you to come investigate and expose this unbearable, extravagant bill. Okay. Opinion 18, Kaswa says, the competent EC has been very transparent and honest in discharging its duties. We thank God for a successful balloting. A simple reminder to NDC and His Excellency Nana Akua won the presidential seat without violence, so he is maintaining it without violence come December 7th. Keep your messages coming. It is an interactive show, so if you're on Facebook, you can just comment down below. If you're on other social media platforms, the hashtag to use is Breakfast Daily. And if you want to reach us directly, our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. Up next, we're going to look at the EC saying that we should ignore Mahama on the EC's plot to rig elections. And I'll allow you guys to respond to what you need to say right after these messages.
Sure. Okay.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Hello Ghanaians, my name is Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aye. I am the Executive Director for the National Board for Small Scale Industries, NBSSI. Through the CABAS initiative, we have disbursed funds to over 100,000 beneficiaries across the nation. Several local businesses have seen the impact of our work, and we will continue to give more of them hope amidst this global pandemic era that has negatively impacted all of us.
MBSSI, a new era for SMEs.
Welcome back. It is still Breakfast Daily on CCTV. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is an interactive show, so wherever you're watching us from, we want to hear from you. Use the hashtag Breakfast Daily to join the conversation, and the WhatsApp line 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, you can also use the country code +233. Before the break, we're discussing the various political parties and their position on the ballot now. NPP is number 1, NDC is number 2. Thankfully, both dominant parties are happy with the number that they've been provided. We'll now move on to our second topic. I'm going to read from page 3 of the Custodian, and it says, ignore Mahama on election rigging plot, EC to Ghanaians. The Electoral Commission has entreated Ghanaians to disregard allegations of rigging and assertion of a flawed electoral process and election by the 2020 presidential candidate of the opposition, National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama. It reiterated its commitment to conduct free, fair, credible, transparent, and peaceful election on December 7th. The country's election management body emphasized that the transparency of its process should give confidence to the citizenry that it cannot rig an election. So I'm going to quote what the EC said. Can someone tell us at which point of the transparent process the Electoral Commission can rig the election? We use this platform to call all political parties and stakeholders who have genuine concerns to raise them in the full glare of the public. Once we are informed about the weaknesses and gaps in the process outlined, we will take immediate steps to address and close all gaps and report same to the public in a transparent, open, and accountable manner. Until then, we entreat all the naysayers to cease their onslaught of trying to discredit a thorough and credible electoral process and a commission that has been open and transparent in all its dealing. If for nothing at all, the current commission has opened up all its processes to the public and removed the cloaks of secrecies that shredded its activities and operations. We have laid bare our processes for all to see. So Dziffa, I'm starting with you on this because we know that your flag bearer has been very critical of the EC, and the EC is telling the Ghanaian public to ignore naysayers of what you're doing.
And thank you, Dziffa. And I think when you say my flag bearer has been critical, I think he was speaking for the entire NDC and many more Ghanaians who are not NDC too.
Okay.
So yes, and I thank him for being very stern in issues like these, because as I said in my previous submission, it is better for you to complain and get the right thing done than after it is done and then you be all over the place trying to get it corrected, which would be very difficult. But before that, let me just use a minute of my time to address...
as long as it's your time that you're using.
Yes, it's my time.
Okay.
But you know, when Vera says and we were against free SHS, my president at the time said we are going in for progressive free SHS, and as it stands now, I cannot agree more. I think that is the wisest thing that any president who is targeting secondary education can suggest, progressive free SHS. Okay. And if she wants, in our own time, I can sit her down, break...
Why do you say that? Because some people will argue that free SHS now is needed for people who can't afford it.
When we say progressive, yes, when we say progressive, we don't mean now.
That's the point.
We don't. Sorry, I mean that when we say progressive, we don't mean it's not happening now.
Okay.
You understand? I'm saying that it's progressing with time. So you bring in free SHS, targeted at those who need it most, and start growing from that level.
Okay.
You understand? So it's not as if progressive free SHS means that I'm seated here and then I'm going to do it only in the next 5 years. No. You start now and then you progress as time goes on, so that you don't seem to be addressing people who do not need that help. You get me? Whilst the quality of education will still be dropping and all that. Okay. It grows. Okay. You would learn. That is why I think when the NPP started their free SHS policy, they had to take months to be around the schools to try and monitor the things that were going on wrong and all that. You have to let it grow and make sure that you are addressing the people that need it most. Okay. So that is it.
But in the NDC manifesto, you are now going to even add private schools that are in need to that.
Right, as it stands now.
Contradicts
no, it doesn't contradict.
Progression is starting with people who need it most.
Right now, everyone is into free SHS. It has happened. Okay. It isn't easy for me to take 2 steps and decide to take 1 step back. There are those who feel left behind. Okay. And want to, okay, it's not as if they've really expressed their concerns, but if it has come for everybody, then why don't we find a way to chip in those who are left behind? Okay. So it's not as if it contradicts what we are saying. And when I say progressive, as I said, I'm not even talking about numbers. I'm talking about those who need it. You understand? So there are a lot of things that could even change during the process of its implementation. Okay. And that is the progressive. Okay.
Back secondly, to the EC. Okay.
Okay, sure. Back to the EC. But when she was mentioning the good things that Akua has done, this man was mentioning corruption. 8 out of 10 of the things that he was saying back in 2016. Today, not even one. He is now a corruption clearing agent.
Could it be that they have probably eradicated corruption? That's why they are not mentioning it?
Special prosecutor has even complained. He has sat there and he has been rendered useless. Excuse me for lack of a better word. He has been rendered useless because he's not even able to do his work.
And we can't say that he's a clearing agent because they send people to the special prosecutor. They've sent some people to Yoko.
And what about the people who were just cleared?
No one was cleared.
Oh no, not cleared officially. Nothing can be cleared officially. But
we can't use that terminology to the president
the issues
if he hasn't
ignored,
done that. But you continue.
But no. So I just want to say that this man is a very, very corruptible person.
But you can't prove it.
Oh, you see, you are a host right now.
And I'm asking a question.
You'll be tagged with certain things that you just accept. So it's easier for you to just say, allegedly, you can't prove it, and then we just pass on. But then when we have time, we can break it down for you to see that Akufo-Addo is just so corrupt.
Okay, that's fine.
Family and friends agenda
that's
and
fine.
everything that comes with it.
Let's move on now, because you have 1 minute left to touch on this issue.
So when the EC is saying that what we are saying doesn't, hold water about they not being transparent, I laugh. Yes, I laugh. And he's asking in what process can they rig an election? You should understand that the EC is there not only on election day. During the process of registration and everything that comes with it, the EC is there. And there is a whole system before the D-Day. When you get an EC that was overseeing a registration exercise that had, in quotes, some sort of action that suppressed certain parts of Ghana, noted to be NDC strongholds.
Okay, but that was because those places were also, ways to neighboring countries, and we needed to protect our borders. We were dealing with a pandemic.
And so all these issues happened at the border?
Not necessarily, and it wasn't the only unique to the Volta region. It happened in other regions of the country.
In any way, the borders were closed. In any way, the borders were closed.
But they've shown us that they've been very transparent. They've outlined processes where we've gone through our limited voters registration exercise.
I don't see, let me give you the examples. I don't see any transparency in anything whatsoever. Let me even give you an example of the exhibition, where we come to see our names, and sometimes you check your name and they give you a new ID card instead of to replace the old one. And in this, the parties were not even informed. You understand? You give press releases every time as and when you want, and parties were not informed of this major decision as to why this thing happened. You have a group of people who are in possession of the machines, the registration machines, in a very, very secluded area, way away from the EC offices, doing what they want to do, and we have no idea what happened to them. There was just some flimsy excuse given to them. Up till now, not even a single person has been questioned as to why that happened. There was a special one-day registration exercise, which saw a surprise online registration taken from offline to online and then back, which was so shady. And no one was informed about this because a day before that, the various political parties met with the EC. That is what happens. And then you have a conversation, a plan as to what is going to happen the next day. And no one was informed. So all these shady deals, and even during the exhibition, I was here on City TV when we were mentioning the fact that there seems to be several missing names, especially in NDC strongholds and everything. Maybe they are corrected now, but these things are adding up to make it look like there is something fishy. Or let's say
these challenges are not unique to this EC.
No. These challenges are unique to this EC because they were exaggerated in this particular. Should I say they went overboard?
Okay, that's
missing names are normal. A few missing names are normal, but hundreds of missing names in particular places noted to be dominated by the opposition party, they are not normal. Suppression in Volta region, and
they corrected those missing names.
Well, whether they correct, you see, the issue is we were able to express our grievances. That is why probably they were corrected. Imagine we hadn't said anything at all. We would have overlooked it. That is why we keep coming out to talk when we smell anything fishy. So that it is corrected rather than after the elections or after everything has been done, then we go screaming in people's ears and disturbing the whole of
Thank you very much, Dziffa.
Exactly.
Vera, so Dziffa is saying they said progressive, they didn't say they were going to get rid of fears in general, and that, EC saying that we should ignore naysayers. They have genuine concerns about how EC conducts its affairs.
Thank you, Dziffa. Honestly, I'm in love with you. I mean, I think you are one of the best hosts I have met personally.
Please, let's focus on
the reason being that your consistency in drawing her attention to, trying to go to slippery areas that may probably implicate her. That kudos to you for doing that. I think that first and foremost, the progressive thing she's talking about. Well, if you are saying progressive, we're all in Ghana. when you sponsored adverts, I mean, you can still let your producer Google for some of the adverts. I mean, openly and consistently and for days and months, you advertise against free SHS, demonstration against free SHS all over the place, and even at the tail end when you came back to say that you do progressive, I mean, a lot of Ghanaians were calling for the free SHS until you left power, even with the progressive, where, I mean, there was nothing free, you still left capitation ground debt, you still left exercise books debt,
but
you still left uniform.
They still contributed to the infrastructure bit of education, which is crucial.
Sweetheart, for the infrastructure, you need to have a full show for us on it, and you will see how embarrassing their claim is. And now I think you can, all viewers can attest to the fact that they are now trying to quell and then shield, move away completely from that infrastructure issue, because even their e-blocks that they managed to do 23 out of all the 4 years they were in power, we came and within 2 years we've done 27 out of that and more. So for that topic we'll need more time to go into that, and I can give you on top of my head the places that we've done all this massive infrastructure by NPP government. So for that, it's a no-go area for NDC. So what I'm trying to say is that they are so-called progressive. Even with that, they left capitation grant debt, they left exercise book debt, they cancelled teacher training colleges, they froze employment, they brought 3 months pay policy. What are we talking about? When now, as I sit here, even the BEC WASI exams fee has been absorbed, cancellation of utility bills for them, food is free, clothing. Now we know ATL is facilitating the fabrics for them, boosting our industry. A whole lot. We can go on and on and on.
Won't all these expenditure also contribute to our debt, especially when we are not meeting our revenue targets?
No, it's about managing the limited resources you have wisely for the people of Ghana. You see, Ghanaians first. It is when the citizens are happy, then you call yourself a good president, the #1 gentleman. You get me?
If you're talking
so
about
that is what it is.
And they're saying progressive because you meet people who are at most need, because the country will still have to pay for it in future generation, especially when we are not meeting our revenue targets. Isn't that a concern?
Sweetheart, they had all the revenues we are taking now. They had it now, as we also have it now. They had it, and yet I've counted a little bit of their mess. And we are getting the same revenue, and we are doing massively well. And it all stems to the good economic management. And after all these massive things we are doing, we are still paying for the debt. So you see, this is what good governance is all about. This is what a good president does. So for the education aspect, it's a no-go area. Infrastructure is a no-go area. And coming to the EC issue, I think that the word I will use is not transparency, as she's alluding to. I would say they have challenges. You see, they have challenges, and in life, and viewers can attest to this, that we all have challenges. So far as we are humans, and they have repeatedly assured us that they are fixing these challenges, and they are actually fixing through a lot of the things they are doing and the update they keep giving to the various parties and then the Ghanaian people, citizens. And you know that they would even be meeting the various party leadership a number of times before even we go into the elections on 7th December. So for me, I think that there are challenges, and it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a human institution. And so we need to collectively kind of help them, kind of motivate them. We need to kind of prompt them, and in the right way. There are processes. It's not about when you identify a challenge, you leave the institution that is having the challenge, that is the EC, and you run to the media and you run to the street and you kind of incite people to cause insecurity, and you think it is just laying the ground for the massive loss that is ahead of them. You see, 2008, when His Excellency, the gentleman of the land, the #1 person of the land, when he lost with the slimmest margin in the history of Ghana, the slimmest, from NPP government. You get me? It was an incumbent government, the slimmest. This man never, on one occasion, used any violent language whatsoever. He said, it is NDC that are saying that when it comes to violence, they are on top of it because of their history and all that. No, what I'm saying is that on the ballot, it is His Excellency Nana Addo who is on the ballot. And I'm saying that this individual, I'm not talking about party individuals or party executives, I'm talking about the people we are going to vote for, the two leading candidates.
Yes.
I'm talking about their utterances.
Yes.
I'm talking about their posture.
Have also raised concerns about the conduct of the EC. You know, so
that's what I'm saying.
Rashid Pelpo, for instance, MP for West Central, said that it's not fair for the EC to say political parties who may have issues with the way it's conducting itself are naysayers. You know, when you come from that angle, the parties might also feel some way about giving you feedback.
Yeah, that is what I said earlier on, that when they have challenges, like I said, they have challenges. So what you do is that as a party leadership, there are processes in addressing these things. It is when you have even exhausted these processes and they ignore you and all that, then probably you come to seek for public sympathy. But here's the case, these people have accepted the challenges, they are working on it, they are giving updates to the public, and then they are giving evidence of the processes going on, and then you run to the media, you run to the public, and then you cause panic and fear, insecurity, and certain unpleasant utterances. This is what I'm saying, that as a leader of NPP, the gentleman of the land, His Excellency Nana Addo, on no occasion has he, as an individual, openly, verbally, incited or done anything of that sort, even in 2008 when he lost to the slimmest margin, and 2012 when he had every cause that the verdict was stolen, he went to court and honorably and humbly accepted what the court said.
Is there anything wrong with a political party giving feedback to the Electoral Commission?
Feedback is fantastic. I'm talking about where you incite. I'm talking about where you use utterances that criminals may take advantage of and all that. And as a leader, if party executive members or MPs or PCs make certain pronouncements, they may be forgiven.
So which specific utterances do you have issues with?
Oh, I mean, when the topic on the table, that candidate Mahama himself is setting the stage that the elections will be rigged. I mean, okay, what about if you go and then you win? Will you say you will not accept the winning?
NPP had issues with the former EC, and NPP won in 2016, and you didn't have an issue with that. Right?
We didn't have an issue. We never, before the election, made any pronouncement, caused panic and fear and all that. What I'm saying is that we are talking about where political parties, especially their leadership, especially their candidates, setting stage, causing fear and panic, and that they will not, emphatically, that they will not accept the outcome. And that if it is flawed, what I'm saying, if it is flawed, nobody, not even NPP, will accept a flawed elections, and that is why we went to court. So candidate Mama should wait. After the over 2 million different vote, massive defeat, he can go to court.
All right, that's fine. So we'll move on to our last topic here. Before that, we've received some messages. I know you probably want to use 1 minute to respond.
Yes, I do.
So
in fact,
I'll just
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so I just wanted to state, you keep saying that Mahama said something that is inciting people. He says, I will not accept any results of a flawed election. And you just said it, even the NPP won't accept that. So what is wrong with what he said? He didn't say he's not going to accept the results of the EC or of the election. He said a flawed election. So if you say that that is inciting people and that is wrong and that is going to cause violence, I do not understand it, because you have just admitted that the NPP themselves may not even want to accept results of a flawed election. That is why they even went to court in 2012. So what exactly is wrong with that statement? Absolutely nothing.
But she's saying, you know, we've never seen such harsh treatment from a
presidential, but you know,
presidential candidate.
During Charlotte Osei's era, I mean, it was worse. They were on the lady's neck.
Did you hear Nanado say something? That's my point.
No, but even if I didn't hear Nanado saying anything, I'm saying that what Mahama said, tell me what is wrong with it, because you just told me that the NPP do not accept flawed election. That is why you thought they went to court in 2012. So he didn't say that I'm not going to accept the result of the election. He said a flawed election, and you've just agreed that no one is going to go with a flawed election. So what is your problem with that statement?
Thank you both. We'll take a look at some of the questions, comments we've received from our viewers. Nana Pekin 1 means history will repeat itself. They will lose massively. JM all the way come December 7. This is coming from Bless Ajamani in the Volta region. It's good how the MPP thinks it's winning their election, their winning chance, but I know the NDC are coming back to rescue Ghana from this government. It's coming from Elvis in Dansoman. Number 1 position signifies a first-term presidency for Nana because he deceived DKM customers. They are not paying as he promised to pay all by September. All right, keep your messages coming. Hashtag Breakfast Daily. WhatsApp line 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, use the country code +233. Take a look at our last story here. I'm reading from page 3 of the New Crusading Guide, and it says, you deserve second term. Volta chief to President Akua. So this has to do with the chief of Afife, and we know that Nanado has already been crowned the king of patience, peace, and development in that area. The chief went on to say things like, just this morning we heard that a survey conducted by an international media network in Asia ranks Ghana as the first country in Africa and the 3rd in the world as far as combating COVID-19 pandemic and mitigating its impact is concerned. We are proud of you, Your Excellency. He also talked about when you had reason to dispute the results of the 2016 general elections. For instance, you did not resort to arms and mutiny as we are seeing in other countries. You rather took the case before the Supreme Court. I think he probably meant 2012 with that one. But the chief is very excited about everything that President Akufo-Addo has done for Ghanaians and saying that he deserves a second term. So I don't know which one of you wants to take this, but I think you are writing your notes. So, Dziffa, your thoughts on the chief of Apipe, Traditional Council?
Yes,
Paramount Chief.
The Paramount Chief. I think this is not new. For you to go to a town and then a chief, hailing you, depends on what you think you've gotten from the candidate directly.
Okay.
But I'm just wondering, this Volta chief, I'm a Voltarian, so I understand. This particular administration has suppressed us, made us feel like foreigners. In fact, for the first time, I think I'd just rather, I come from Juja, so I'd just rather see if I'm probably closer to the border and seek refuge in Volta in Togo. Because if all these things that has happened just this year, and the fact that no significant or reasonable development or there isn't any proper impact of the MPP to Voltarians. And then
but he's mentioning so many things that he has done. 2 senior high schools in their traditional area.
You see,
the Afife Secondary Technical School, another school here, 12 classrooms started by the previous government in each senior high school.
Oh, are you mentioning the previous government now?
No, they've completed it for them. So, another 12 classroom blocks have been awarded with ultra-modern water closet toilet
which hasn't been built yet, I guess.
Again, a 40-unit market stall with 20-seater ultra-modern toilets each has been awarded. So it seems like for the people of Afife, they're really benefiting from this development.
Which hasn't even been built yet. But when I say extraordinary, because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did more than this when it comes to infrastructure. So if I'm saying extraordinary, I'm comparing the 2 presidents. Is this something you haven't seen a president doing before? But then, that aside, how Voltarians are being treated now. I mean, there was a whole budget presented to Parliament and the Volta region was forgotten about. I don't even know how that happened. It could have happened if it was random. Why didn't it even happen with any other region? So if this chief is saying that, I respect everyone's personal opinion, but obviously he is speaking for himself.
Oh, but he's a paramount chief of an entire area.
My dear, I am coming from Volta region.
Okay.
You know,
but you're not coming from Apipe.
No, I'm not coming from Apipe, but I know there, and I know people who come from there. But I'm saying that when he's speaking like this, it depends on what he might be getting better.
outlined all the developmental projects.
Half of what you mentioned to me have been awarded.
Okay.
Akua is going around cutting swords.
Okay.
Is that what we call developmental projects? We want to enjoy projects right now.
Thank you.
And you're telling me about cutting swords and awarded.
Thank you, Dziffa.
Awarded doesn't even means he hasn't even cut the sword yet.
According to the Paramount chief, that's not what he's seen in his area.
Obviously, he's speaking for himself, not for the people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dziffa.
Thank you, sweetheart. I think first and foremost, I have to kindly prompt that whenever we are talking to the public, we should be extra mindful, especially when it's got to do with authority, when it's got to do with chiefs or leadership. Beside that branding you and with your level of respect, and then religiously too, because my Bible tells me in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, that we should give respect to the elderly, no matter what. So you don't sit on set and run down a paramount chief.
No, I don't think she ran down a paramount chief.
She said it's based on what the chief is getting from His Excellency Nana. He's speaking for himself. He's speaking for the people.
I don't need to repeat what I said in case you didn't hear.
He's speaking for the people.
Yes.
Let's be mindful.
I plead with you to allow us to take what she
so
said
let me flow. And
how would you say a
lot of these people all over the place. It's not only the Volta, this particular paramount chief. We know that the NDC always touts themselves with the Volta region as being their stronghold and their World Bank. And so when you, at a point in time, you have not ordinary Voltarians, not just citizens, not just residents, but you have paramount chiefs, you have people of authority coming out boldly, openly to commend the gentleman of the land. It carries a lot of weight. And it is not just said in a vacuum. It is based on the wonderful, unprecedented things this government is doing, like the free SHS I mentioned and the number of things that the government has absorbed.
Thank you
like
very much,
just London.
Yes.
And then the massive infrastructure and then the massive health sector. I mean, all the sectors are Greek everywhere. They are feeling it in their own individual life.
Thank you very much. So I just want to give Dziffa 10 seconds to correct any,
my dear, we all had it. I think you had it too. You are being as just as you can. When did I run down this chief? I said that he is not speaking for all the people, and probably it is what he's getting. No,
you said what he's getting.
My dear,
let's
what he's getting. What does that even mean?
Dziffa said it. So
what does that even mean?
And of course, we all agree that we are not running down any chief.
No one run down anything. No one run down anybody. And I respect. He is a chief from where I come from, the Volta region. And you see, because you are not able to defend what I said,
I don't need to defend.
I'm talking to attack me and make it look as though
I'm talking to the viewers.
I gave you a chance to clarify.
I would never do.
You did.
So you would not insinuate anything. You would not say anything that I haven't said.
You did. Is a member of the National Communications team for the NDC, and Lady Vera Redo is a member of the National Communications team for the MPP. I wish you both a very lovely week. Thank you both for being here. And of course, up next, we'll be talking to Philip Kofi Ashong about things happening in the world of consumer tech. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
2 weeks ago, I had nowhere to turn to. I needed funds urgently. That's when I ran into Wafakofi. It's you, Wafakofi.
Hello.
It's good I saw you here.
Really?
You know, with businesses restarting after the lockdown, getting funds has been really difficult to pay for some of the goods in high demand, and my supply is no longer selling on credit.
Sister Ama, my financial partner is Advanced Savings and Loans. Advanced stayed by my side all through the COVID crisis. They offered me grace period. They also gave me advice on how to manage my business, and now they are here to help me clear my containers by offering me a loan.
Are you sure they are giving out loans even during the COVID pandemic?
Yes, Advance Ghana has you covered.
So that's how I got a loan to stock up my shop.
Call us on 0800 355 355 or visit our nearest branch for our various loan and deposit products. Advance, your preferred financial partner.
Hi, my name is Salamatu. Yes, these are both me. You see, before free SHS, my life could have taken two very different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other part is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have an A. He's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will stand on my own feet and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better future.
Grandma really knows how to take care of her family. Now it's my turn. And like her, I only want the freshest food. I'm glad there's Samsung Twin Cooling Refrigerator, which retains 70% humidity, extending freshness up to 2 times longer. And with extended freshness, I can extend my care for my family.
Holding on to integrity and professionalism, our voices speak to you. We are the thread that holds society, the fire that ignites social discourse. We are defined by the voices in the waves, the ink in the papers, and expressionist idealism across social platform. We owe allegiance to one cause, freedom and justice. We are the Ghana Journalist Association. Under the theme COVID-19 and credible presidential parliamentary election, the media factor, we present to you the 25th GJA Awards, to be chaired by Her Excellency Stephanie Sullivan, U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, on the 24th October 2020 at the Mevenpick Ambassador Hotel at 7 p.m. Guest speakers, His Lordship Justice Kwesi Anin-Yeboah, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. The 25th GJA Awards is proudly sponsored by Volta River Authority, ADB, MTN, ECG, Ghana Gas, U.S. Embassy, Government of Ghana, Ghana Chamber of Mines, Zoom Lion, Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, Petroleum Commission, Euroget Group, National Commissions Authority, Nestle Ghana, Buoy Power Authority, and FPN Bank. Supported by Ghana Shippers Authority, World Vision, McDan Shipping Company, National Road Safety Authority, Mevenpick Hotel, GCB, InnoLink, Plan Ghana, Stanbic Bank, Gold Coast Refinery, Newmont, SNIT, Nuclear Power Ghana, Meridian Port Services, Vocacom, Environmental Protection Agency, Ashfall, Cheesy Pizza, J.A. Binney Company, Satellite Africa Network Services, and Baggio Gold Mining Company. Powered by Globe Production, the 25th GJA Awards, recognizing excellence in journalism.
Play the golden goal on Bet Planet today with just 20 Ghana cedis. You could win a Mercedes and 100,000 Ghana cedi worth of prizes. This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below the age of 18.
It's time for us to do the consumer tech segment, and we're going to have a conversation with Philippa Shaw, who's the host of City Trends and also the head of production here at City TV. He's going to help us to understand and get into some apps that are going to help us with managing finance. Good morning, Phil.
Well, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. We are going to look at generally technologies, generally, that help us be able to manage our finances. One of the first things that actually came to mind when we were thinking about this topic was how important this is. It's not technology as you would find with gadgetry and things like that, but one of the first things I think, or one of the most innovative things that ever happened to helping us manage our finances is this paper, piece of paper. You have no idea how incredibly important a piece of paper is in managing your finances.
Okay, tell us, take us into that.
From writing down the things that are running short at home, to writing down the things that you buy on a daily basis, to picking up receipts and keeping receipts that you can make reference to noting down things you are supposed to buy for people, to maintaining a budget. This is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle when it comes to managing your finances.
Okay.
A piece of paper.
Wow.
It can be as small as this, or it can be as big as a book, or it can be whatever. But a piece of paper for me is one of the most impactful starting points when it comes to using sort of some new kinds of technology to manage your finances.
Okay.
Now let's jump into the ones that we are more acquainted with, which is the gadgets and things like that. Your laptop or your tablet, if you have one, is also a very, very powerful platform to use to manage your finances.
How so?
It can either be as simple as using a notepad, on your tablet, or a sticky note, or Excel spreadsheet, or a Word document.
Okay.
If you have any of these, you basically have a template upon which you can build. Now, a couple of things that I really want us to really remember. One of the most important things is creating a habit in terms of managing your finances.
Okay.
So, for example, you have a laptop. You don't have any fancy apps or anything or software on it, but you have Word, you have Excel. So open an Excel spreadsheet, and then in one side put groceries. In one column, put groceries. Put the prices that you are looking to spend on the groceries. In another side, you can put gadgets you want to buy. In another side, you're basically building a budget for yourself, for your home, for your small business, whichever. And based on the numbers that you put there, you are guiding yourself as to what to buy. You can include when to buy it, how often you want to buy it, and things like that. How long it takes, for example, for those resources that you have planned for to finish, when you intend to replenish, things like that. At the end of the day, these simple notes that you make will eventually help you to get a good sense of how much money you're spending, how much you intend to spend, or how much you even should be spending. Sometimes we buy, I don't know, like a whole carton of milk, and we realize we don't really need that much anyway. Or we buy some stuff and then it's at home, we realize that we really don't have any need for it. When you make such notes about what you're spending, when you go back to those notes, you get to figure out, okay, so I really don't need 12 pieces of pineapple or whatever every month. I probably need 5 or 3, depending on the consumption levels in the home. And so when you make these notes, it helps. And it doesn't matter what the size of the laptop is or the capacity of the computing power or whatever of the machine is. But these very simple things go a long way to help you to be able to manage your finances and manage them very well. The thing I like to say though is that it is a bit of work if you want to manage. But then they say that a life that is properly not checked and maintained and in terms of documented, you can't really live a proper life. So one of the other things I like to say is, aside setting reminders and noting down the things, find a way to sort of get into the habit of actually writing these things down. When you write them down frequently, it becomes a habit. And then you start noting everything that you buy. Some of the things you probably buy on the streets, like in Trotsky, and you're going home and you decide to buy some ice cream or something like that. It's very easy for these things to skip you. But then, for example, if you set 5 cedis a week to buy ice cream, you know that every week I'm spending 5 cedis. So it doesn't really matter how many ice creams you choose to buy. You just know that I've set aside 5 cedis to buy ice cream. And so sometimes the daily the little things that you buy really escape you, but then when you sort of have a certain number in mind, a general limit in mind, it really helps.
Okay.
So one of the other things is it's very easy sometimes to forget about certain payments you need to make. And so as part of the notes that you make, you can have monthly payments. So you pay for ECG, you pay for water, you pay for DSTV. Have a segment where you say monthly payments. If you want to pay for insurance or something, you have all of that listed, and you know how much you've allocated to that. And that one really doesn't necessarily have to take so much. It can be either on a sticky note, or it can be in a Word document, Excel spreadsheet, any of these platforms. So far as you can write, you basically can get some work done on it. Then comes the other side where a lot of people really like, which is what can you do with your mobile device or with your tablet? What apps are available on the market that can easily help you to be able to manage your finances? The first one is a very interesting app. It's called mint.com, mint.com. Now, mint.com basically is both a platform in terms of a website and then a mobile app. So it has a website version and then it has a mobile app. Now, this is the website version of it. What it basically does is it doesn't just help you note how much you're spending. It actually does a lot of things all in one. And it says all-in-one finances, creating budgets for the home. If you are in the US, then credit scores will be important to you. But then basically, getting all your money, what you're spending, how much is coming in, all of that in one place, this is a great way to do that. You can see there, you can list all your bills that you typically pay. You can list all of them and then allocate amounts to it as and when you make those payments. It's also very, very secure. And it comes really, really highly recommended. Any searches that you make about a management app, any searches that you make about management app goes a long way to really help you too. In terms of, so mint.com.
Mint.com.
The very first one I would like to highlight.
All right, so super. We're talking about mint.com, a website that can help us to sort out all your finances and properly lay out what it is that you need there. If you're watching us and watching what's going on here, kindly use the hashtag BreakfastDaily if you have any comments to make. If you have any comments to make, and we also have a WhatsApp line as well.
That there is mint.com. The second one I would like listeners or viewers to take a look at is Money Lover.
Money Lover?
Yes, Money Lover. I fell in love with Money Lover last year, and it's been my go-to app for basically managing finances. That is Money Lover. Sort of runs along the same lines of Mint. But I like Money Lover because, well, it kind of is much easier to manage as a mobile.
So it's an app.
Yes. Okay. It's an app, and it's you can also interact with this on the website as well. But I think that you should go with the app. More or less, as you can see, available both on tablet and on your phones as well. It's simply a money tracking platform. Anything that you want in terms of creating a budget, in terms of keeping track of how much money you're spending and all of that. But you see, at the end of the day, it comes back to that point of the discipline of actually noting how much money you are spending. Because there's no point not having, there's no point downloading all these things or getting all these notes done if you're not going to commit to writing what you actually spend. Because if you don't know how much you're spending, then what are you really planning for? How much are you saving, for example? If I cut down, for example, by 10% of how much I spend on groceries, can I reallocate that amount of money to paying A bill or B bill? And it's only when you actually document these things. Now, these mobile apps have a bit of an advantage over the writing because you can actually do assessment over a period. So let's say you can check with the app, okay, so how much have I spent in terms of groceries for the last 3 months? It can give you a good accurate figure based on how much information you've put in. Sometimes it's a bit cumbersome when you have to go and look for other papers and things like that. So that is understandable. But then if you have some of these apps, if you use the website, for example, to basically log all of this information, it's easier for you to generate a lot of this information that you might be looking for, which gives you a good idea of what your expenditure is like, and then also how you can reallocate certain funds that are probably going into things that you don't typically need, but then you would probably want to reallocate to something else. So for me, these are the very simple things. At the base of it, there needs to be a certain discipline. You need to be disciplined to understand that if you don't keep track of what you're spending, there is no way you can manage your finances. You need to keep track.
So that's the key.
That for me is at the heart of it. If you can be able to maintain a certain discipline, just to note, okay, so every month, and I mean sometimes the nitty-gritty of the everyday can really be overwhelming, and so you might forget to make certain notes. It's understandable, but then for example, if you tell yourself every month I'm going to allocate 10 cedis to buying fruits, or I'm going to dedicate 50 cedis to buying fruits, 100 cedis for lunch, and things like that, this is the figure that you're supposed to spend. What some people then do is they allocate the amount of money in different envelopes and things like just to help maintain the discipline. But what is important is the discipline. The discipline of when you have the mobile app. It can be a mobile app sitting on your phone, not doing anything until you put the information in. That's when it can generate all these insights about how much money you're spending here as against something else. So the discipline for me is the most important thing. If you want to help yourself manage your finances, the discipline is the most important thing. All these other things that we talked about are just complementary to that discipline. And so just putting all of that in perspective.
The challenges sometimes I find, for example, and why I think your suggestion of even as basic as a piece of paper is important, is looking at the fact that, for example, you go and you buy, I mean, recently I went and saw some light bulbs, in a shop. And I was so surprised by, number one, the power wattage on the bulb was really low, 6 watts. Okay. And it's very bright. So for 6 watts, very bright. I'm like, this is
probably an LED light or something.
Yes, it's an LED light. Okay. So then I'm looking at the cost, and there's 6 of them for 30 Ghana cedis. I'm like, this is a steal.
You see, and a lot of people will not consider the wattage, for example, will not consider how much they bought. For example, if someone asks you right off the bat, how much did you buy your last light bulb? It most likely won't come to you. But if you have these notes down, you can easily make a reference. If you, for example, have noted what that light bulb was, what sort of wattage it was, how much you ended up paying. So if, for example, after 3 months of switching to this new one, you can be able to tell, okay, so 3 months ago I was using
on power.
I was using this kind of light bulb. I bought this other new light bulb, and now I'm spending either much less or much higher. Then you can make proper financial decisions. But then if you don't note them down, you are basically just flying blind and hoping that something will work out. And that unfortunately happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people.
The other thing that I was thinking about as you're talking also was the fact that when we go out to buy stuff, right? I grew up with parents who believed in stocking up because it tends to be cheaper, over time. But then I think what it is that you have to be careful what you're stocking up. In the sense that some things are perishable. So you don't just stock up everything. So I like the example you gave with the pineapple. I mean, if you go and buy 20 of them, and you discover that you only ate 2 weeks.
But that's a very fair point, because what then happens is, like I said, if you don't measure and you don't basically write it down, you will probably not be disciplined enough to understand how much you're supposed to. Because look, if you buy 5 and you end up enjoying only 2 over a 3-month period, you should be able to know that the 5 is not working.
Absolutely.
The 5 is not working, no matter how much you stock up. If you buy 12 tins of milk and you use only 5 or 6, you should be able to understand that consistently over this period of time, this is how much we actually use. It's either we use 5 or 3 or 4. And that should be able to help you to manage the little finances that you might have. This pandemic has really taught us a lot about managing the little that we have.
Absolutely.
And some of these things help you to save a lot of money. But once again, at the end of the day, if you don't have the discipline,
it's the discipline.
If you don't have the discipline to note how much you're spending, to sometimes even track back on the expenditure. Look, you are just going to run blind, and it's all going to be based on hope. And really, you are going to end up back to square one of still trying to figure out what to do with your finances. So for me, the discipline is one. All these technologies and innovations are just complementary to that discipline.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. All right, thank you very much, Philip Ashong. Philip is the host of City Trends on City 97.3 FM and also the head of production here at City TV.
Have you wondered why people patronize for Kwaku Trading Enterprise? Follow me, I'll show you why. So this is the reason why people patronize from us. It's because we have quality and affordable mobile phones and accessories. Talk of Alcatel, iPhone, Samsung, and among others. We also have quality laptops and affordable television of all sizes. Our latest baby on the block is the Kwaku TV 65-inch smart TV. It's just going to blow your mind. The picture quality is superb. Our shops are open for both wholesalers and retailers. You can also walk into any of our shops nationwide to window shop. But remember to always put on your face mask. Kwaku Trading Enterprise, indeed the home of quality mobile phones, televisions, and accessories.
During tough times, we need a competent leader we can trust to keep us all safe.
Nana gave me free water when I needed it most to keep me clean and safe from COVID-19.
Nana gave me lower cost of internet during COVID-19 to operate my small business from home.
Nana told us to trust him to keep our children safe from COVID-19 when we sent them back to school. Nana was right.
Nana gave me free electricity in my hour of need during COVID-19.
Nana told us to trust him to keep Ghana safe from COVID-19.
I met this guy a few months ago. I had a serious crush on him, and so did he, because he told my friend about it. I waited for him to make a move, but he didn't, and so I did. I told him how much I liked him, and he said he liked me too. Then he later slowed things down even though we were not dating. I soon realized that a lot of ladies were also crushing on him, so I backed off because I'm the jealous type. He then told me he likes me, but couldn't date me because he's not financially stable. And I respected his decision. The problem now is he doesn't want me to date anyone, and he's not ready to date me either, but wants to have me around. He initially told me that I can accept another person's proposal as long as it would make me happy. I found someone that loves me, and I've decided to tell him. Now he's acting cold towards me. He's a nice person, but since he can't date me, I have to move on. Now I feel like I'm hurting him, and I want to know if I did the right thing by telling him. Should I have just kept things to myself? This lady wants to know.
I've never seen any guy that likes a girl and is okay with them moving on. Like you're going to be so possessive over her and make sure that you can do whatever it is to keep her.
You have every right on this planet to move on with your life. If he told you, I don't have money, and you really loved him, you would insist. You say, you know what, let's try it.
Sister Sister is sponsored by Vodafone. The future is exciting, ready and secure. You decide.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Kwame Dazi. Ghanaian artist Kwesi Arthur has been featured in a cypher for the 2020 BET Hip Hop Awards. The cypher also features Ivorian rapper Suspect 98 and French rapper Elizabeth Ventura. Kwesi Arthur's hit song Grind Day got him nomination for the Black Entertainment Television Awards in 2018 in the Viewer's Choice Best New International Act category. Already, some have suggested that Kwesi may be getting a nomination in this year's BET Hip Hop Awards, especially considering the fact that he won Best Rapper Award in this year's Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Last year, Ghanaian rapper Sakyi won the Best International Flow at the BET Hip Hop Awards. The winner of Season 4 of City TV's Voice Factory, Genevieve Nchunyama, known in showbiz as Araba, has released her first single. A year after winning the coveted title of the contest, the talented singer is ready to prove her mettle in the music space. Produced by Nikwe of Musical Lunatics fame, Araba's song titled Saved promises to be a blessing to many music lovers. Araba's sound is soothing and can be described as a blend of Afro, soul, and R&B. She credits Bernice Affair, Emily Sunday, and Jonathan McReynolds as her major influences. As a biochemist, her scientific background is influential in her philosophy that her poetry and music should have instrumental and not just aesthetic value. Scottish singer Emily Sunday has announced a collaboration with Ghanaian dancehall artist Stonebwoy. In a tweet, Emily wrote, "I'm so excited to finally be releasing more of you with Stonebwoy and Nana Rooks as my next single. It will be released on Wednesday with a video at 8 p.m. Can't wait." Known for songs like Heaven, Beneath Your Beautiful, Heads, Daddy, among others, Emily's song with Stonebwoy and Nana Rooks is one that will generate a lot of excitement among music fans, especially Ghanaians. Stonebwoy, who is eyeing Grammy nomination, has had international collaborations with the likes of Sean Paul, Morgan Heritage, Kerry Hilson, and Tenny. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Kwame Dazi.
Welcome back. It is now time for Hello, Mr. President, which is a segment that's dedicated solely to showing the country and the world problems you are experiencing within your community and calling on to policymakers to do something about it for you. If you have not yet sent us your videos, you can just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. We want to see exactly what you're going through so that a nation is able to see what you're experiencing and your policymakers can answer to it. Send that to us via the email hellomrpresident@gmail.com. And of course, the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. The email again is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. We will now take a look at the first video we received.
A resident of Demia. This is our road. And the road is passing here from what? Here to Guablega. And Guablega is a town, big town around there. It consists of so many 3 villages. And this road is not for only this community, but it's from what? Guablega. And our main problem is from the road. It's the road who calls us this way. And even our local government, Ajia Alima Mahama, that's his village. That's his hometown, Guablega. And the road is still this way. We thought that she will get a solution from it. Up to now, we're not getting any solution. It started almost 3 weeks now. People are not passing. they always come to get people to assist them to pass. So we are appealing to the government to come and fix the road for us. If not, that we are suffering. Our local minister, we are appealing to her. She should come and fix the road for us.
So there again, we still have to deal with issues concerning roads, even though ironically, this is supposed to be the year of roads. Now, for those of us who live in cities like Accra, this might not be a big deal because you go through a very smooth road to get to where you need to be. But imagine if your children have to travel on this road every morning and the car gets stuck. That's hours that they're supposed to be spending in class, being globally competitive, that's being wasted right now because their roads are bad. Imagine if your wife or your sister or your daughter has to get to work on time and the car breaks down on this road. How long can her bosses deal with the excuses that I live on a bad road? Eventually, she will lose her job. We cannot talk about human development when the place certain Ghanaians live literally inhibit them from achieving their greatest potential. We need to get this country to a point where no matter who you are, no matter where you are still able to self-actualize and not be struggling daily because of the nature of your roads. Thankfully, we have the MCE for the area on the line with us, Honorable Somo. He's going to help us understand exactly how long this community has been dealing with this problem, what the government has attempted to do about it, and when they will finally get some solutions. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Now, can you tell us a bit about this municipality in the northeast region, Wale Wale, and the nature of the roads?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. Indeed, West Mamposi is one of the 6 districts in the northeast region. And then the district capital is Wale Wale. The community in question is one of the communities within the West Mamposi Municipal Assembly. Indeed, that particular road of Guinea was part of the road captured by the government in the year of roads. But it happens that that road also serves as a water pass, a main water source. So the road that the people commute on is the same road that when there's rain, the water also passes through to the main gutter. And you can remember just about 2 months ago, West Mamposi got flooded. And the communities that got flooded, that particular community was part of it. So when we can realize that instead of constructing the road, we look at it, a way of diverting it. So that when we divert it, it will not be part of the main water path. So that we can get a very good road for them. Otherwise, you construct it 10 times, it will still come back. And that is why we are still looking at it. We want, when the rain subsides, that we are getting the dry season. And inshallah, if the government continues from 2021, that will be one of our priority roads to be constructed. That particular road also leads to Guabulga. And the Guabulga, I heard on the video that is where our Minister for Local Government is from, which is true. And she has done a lot, especially with regard to that road. She herself even initiated a lot of plans to see how best we can construct it to go. But that road also goes back to lead to Wulugu, which is that it's going to be a very long road because it will be not less than 10 kilometers. So when we are going to work on it, we are trying to work on it and work on it very well so that it will not give us problems in the long run. That is why we are still working. The engineers came and now they look at it. The vice president even came and now they look at it. So we are now trying to see how best we can work on it, divert it from the water source so that we can have a very good road for them to commit on.
Okay, Honorable Somo, how long have the people of this community had to deal with this specific problem?
Yes, the community, is one of the smallest communities. It's one of the smallest settlements because the houses there are not even up to 10. We're looking at even relocating the entire community because it's a flat food zone. And then when we come to assess the problems. We always look at how best the people can be better off. Instead of trying to help them and then rather make them worse off. So we are even thinking of how to relocate them so that they can also go out of the annual surrounding every year that when there's an opening of the Babri Dam or severe rain, it affects them. There's a community in there, and the road has been there for so many years now. It was during the NDC regime, during President before that it was reshaped and then gravelled a bit. Otherwise, since then, it has not gotten any facelift until this time that we captured as part of our main road that we're supposed to be constructed.
But Honorable Somo, my question again is, for how many years have the people of this community had to deal with this problem? And for the past almost 4 years that this administration has been in power, what progress have you specifically observed that you can say that at least we are making progress to solving some of these issues that are hindering them from their daily activities?
Hey, thank you very much. As I indicated earlier, the road is a long one that passes through so many communities up to Winnipeg area. And then we have started some work from Nugu coming towards Manga. And that has to link to Bobo before it gets to Dunia. And it's a long stretch. So what we are doing now is that we are trying to look at that particular stretch of Dunia going towards Bobo. If we can divert it. If we don't divert it, we will still have problems even when we construct it. Because when they were constructing the main road, they left a gutter that was not completely covered. And then every time they rain passes through that place, and then, because the gutter is not well constructed, it always affects them. So the community themselves told me that we should rather, first of all, work on the main gutter before we work on the road. That was what the community members came to my office to inform me. And then when they said that, then I called my engineers to also go and have a look at the gutter. We actually realized that sometimes, because of the nature of the gutter, when water comes, it overflows. And that sometimes causes the flooding around that area. So if we are able to solve that flooding around that area, we will be able to get a better road for them. Otherwise, we will be wasting our own time if we say we are going to construct the road for them now. Because we have to look at how best we can work on it so that it will not affect them in the long run. And when you want to develop the people, you must develop them very well. And that is exactly what we are doing. For the number of years that they have been there, that one I cannot tell. I can tell that I just came from February 2020. That is what I can talk about. But what I know is that in the plans of the assembly, and when the NDP government came to power, especially this year, we have to do a lot of roads in the municipality, which is one of them. And most of the roads have started. Those who do not have any complications with regards to how we can go by the construction. A lot of roads are going on within the municipality. That particular one needs more technical work, and that has to do with a lot of resources. And that is exactly what we are working towards.
Okay, so sometime last year we were informed that this year was going to be the year of roads. Here in Akua, we've seen a lot of progress as far as that is concerned. There are certain areas where you don't even need to do anything, but they've constructed the walkway. People are comfortably moving about. From January to now, we are in October. What progress would you say that has been done? I understand that you say there are some technical issues that must be cleared, but does it take this long to dot your I's and cross your T's and get these people befitting roads that they deserve?
Yes, as I indicated, if you look at the year of roads, West Mapusi have gotten its fair share of the roads, because major roads within the municipality have been considered, and contractors are on site working. If you look at one of the major roads that we used to complain about is Wadewale Wungu Bulbia Road, which the government have given to a contractor. Over 41 contractors have been constructed. You see, if you look at the way Accra roads are, they are different from northern roads. Northern roads, most of them, sometimes you have to do a lot of coverage before you can, even if it is about 5 kilometers, you may be constructing over 20 or 30 coverage before you get to that. So you look at the next year General Road, which was also a difficult area. It has been given to a contractor. It has gone fast. You look at national minimum road, a contractor has also been given. You look at the Kwaku road and then Kwaku Dani road, that has also been given. The Wale Town road has also been given. So if you look at the number of roads that we are benefiting from the year of roads, it's too much. But we still ask for more. And that particular road was also supposed to be part of them. But due to its technical nature, we have to start from the other side so that what the technical people look at it and then we see how best we can make it best for them. Otherwise, we don't have to construct it and reconstruct it. And that is what we are doing. Otherwise, everybody in the community or in the municipality can testify to the number of roads, and there's nobody who will tell you that in his electoral area he has not benefited from these roads. Even where they are talking about, there's another major road that passes through the community. Which that one has been done because it does not have any it doesn't have to do any complexity. But those that we have problems is where we have complex issues to deal with.
Okay, Honorable Somo, lastly, your people are watching. Let's try and humanize this problem a little bit, because technicalities are one thing, but for those who have to depend on this road every single day, what do you have to tell them about solving this problem for them? I've been telling them, and I'll continue to tell them, that it's extra patience. They have a listening government, a government that listens to the people. We are on course and we are ready to make sure that we make the road no trouble for them. It is our plan that at least the entire municipality should be motorable. And if you look at it as we speak, over 60% of our roads have been worked on. And so, if by the grace of God, the NDP government, under the Minister of Kwaku and the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia continues, and I'm telling you that this particular thing will also be a thing of the past. We have done a lot with that road construction in the unprecedented in the history of West Mamposi, because this road has been there since Kwame Nkrumah, and it has not been worked on. NDC government came 19 years, they couldn't work on it. They came back 8 years, they couldn't work on it. We have come back and we have started the process. So it means that where there is hope, and they should have hope that indeed, so far as we continue to live and exist, and the party continues to be in power with the government, we are going to work the Do you have a date in mind?
And that particular community is one of my strongholds that I will not allow them to go anywhere. So definitely we are going to work on it. Okay, Honorable, do you have a date in mind where they will begin to see some activities on the road? For now, I told you it's technical. The engineers have come to have a look at it. They haven't come out with a report. I will follow up to see when what the outcome of their what do they call it, work have been, and then how best we can all push. This is the road that we all want to work on. The local government minister has interest in it. The vice president has interest in it. The MC has interest in it. Everybody has interest in it. So hopefully it will be prioritized. Thank you very much. Way that the road can be left out. We are all going to look at it and work on it. Thank you very much, Honorable Somo, for being with us. Now, if you happen to be in that area and you have some issues with some of the things he raised, let us know. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If there are specific issues that he brought up or some works that he said they are working on that you have not personally observed in that area, let us know. We will call him back and throw those questions to him. Again, if you're experiencing any problems in your community, no matter where you are in this country, we want the entire nation to see what you experience every single day. Just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hello mrpresidenttv@gmail.com, and you can also text us what you're experiencing. The WhatsApp line is 0550-585832, and every Wednesday at 9:30 we will show that problem and call onto those policymakers and ask them why they have not done right by you. Let's take a look at the next video we received.
Hello, Mr. President. I'm called Fishini Zakaria from Yendi in the northern region. There are some problems facing Yendi as a whole, and I deem it necessary to highlight them so that you can come to our aid. First of all, I'll talk about Yendi Hospital. When you go there, getting a folder is a very tough and difficult problem for us. To get a folder, it will take you some couple of hours before you can get a folder. And after that, you have to see the doctor. That's another problem there. And then when we talk about emergency is very important to a hospital. In the Yendi Municipal Hospital, when you go there, the emergency ward is not equipped enough. Mr. President, we need your help. Help us. Thank you.
So that's the Yendi Municipal Hospital. And I mean, we all know how important our hospitals are, no matter who you are. When you're sick, when you're at your most vulnerable, you will go to a hospital. And it's really important that whatever hospital you go to has the necessary resources to take care of you so that you don't die from inadequacies in that hospital, but you can go home because you were treated well. We have the hospital administrator of that specific hospital on the line with us, Mr. Emmanuel Donko. He's going to help us understand the problems that people of that community are facing. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Yeah, good morning, Nadia.
Thank you so much for being with us. Can you please tell us the problems that the people of your community are dealing with as far as this hospital is concerned?
Oh, just like any other hospital, I think that we have issues with human resources. We don't have the exact numbers of staff mix that as the hospital that we require. So that's the problem. Yes.
Yes, but do you have a specific issue with resources? Because as a member of your community sent us a video about lack of adequate resources. We are looking at the hospital right now on our screens, and it does not look like what a well-resourced hospital should look like.
If you talk about resources, obviously we will need more than enough resources. There's no facility in the country that can boast of having enough resources. There's always a shortfall, no matter what level of resources that you have. So yes, we will need some more resources. Why not?
How challenging is it for some of your doctors and health officials to tend to patients, considering some of the constraints you have?
Or like I mentioned earlier, issues of personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Very, 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 very serious, because a hospital like Yendi Hospital, we would need a minimum of, I think, 12 doctors. So as we say, we have just 2 doctors. You understand that? Mm-hmm. And then we have PAs, about 7 PAs. So we have challenges with human resources. There's no doubt about that. A place like this, we will need about a minimum of 40 midwives. We have just about 18, 19 midwives. So obviously we'll have some challenges. There's no doubt about that.
So how many people are in this community? Because if you say 2 doctors, we need to understand the number of people these 2 doctors have to tend to.
That is a challenge, like I was saying. Well, you can imagine the entire community and then adjoining communities to the district. They come to Yendi Hospital, which is a referral center in the whole.
We apologize for that technical challenge. We'll try and get Emmanuel back on the line. Emmanuel, are you there?
I'm there, please.
Perfect. Please continue.
I'm saying that Yendi Municipal Hospital is a referral hospital for all the facilities in the Eastern Corridor. And even again in the communities in the OT region. Mm-hmm. So the pressure is there, but the referral resources is a problem.
What kind of advocacy have you tried to do to get more personnel, and what kind of feedback have you received from some of our policymakers?
It is not that people are not aware of it. Our authorities are aware that they cannot give what they don't have. How is it? They can't give what they don't have. The personnel are just not there. The postdoctors in the northern region, they don't come. So if they don't come, where can they get the numbers to supply or to post? So it's a big challenge. If national can ensure that staff distribution is equitable, very equitable, from national cascading down to the district or the entire periphery, then we'll all be on the same page. Yes.
To help your health officials.
Hello?
Yes, are you there?
Yes, I'm listening, please.
Yes. What more do you think that we could do as a nation to assist some of the health officials you have? Because personnel is one thing, them even having the right resources to tend to patients. And I'm sure sometimes you yourself, you feel bad seeing the way some of the patients are being treated because of constraint on resources. The nation is listening to you. What would you like us to do to make life a bit better, not just for the patients, but the health officials in your hospital?
Thank you. I think that if we can help get some doctors, nurses, and other professionals to be posted to that hospital, designated as a referral hospital for entire Florida, I think that will be good for all of us.
Okay, thank you very much for being with us. And there you have it. Human rights is a right to life is something that we are all entitled to. But unfortunately, if you find yourself in certain parts of this country and you're not feeling well, the nature of the hospital can determine if you die or not because of the health problem you're facing, but because of the challenges that the hospital has. Very limited resources. Doctor to patient ratio is nothing to write home about. We have certain communities that have one doctor to 5,000, 6,000 patients. How exactly are two doctors supposed to take care of an entire community in a hospital that's a referral center? It's time that we did better by the people of this community. And next week we'll get the policymakers and ask them what they've been doing to solve this problem. Because every life is important and every life is precious, we must guard the lives of Ghanaians, irrespective of where they are. Now, if you have any issues in your community and you have not yet sent us the videos, this is an opportunity for you to do so. Just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Send that video to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. And our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If you don't have a camera on your phone, you can text us your problems. Send a text message to us via the email hellomrpresident@gmail.com. And the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. It is an election year. Our policymakers will be coming to us to vote for them. We have to make sure that they solve some of these problems for us, so that life will be a little bit better for all of us in this country. Kwaku.
Yes, thank you very much, Dziffa. Don't forget that this afternoon we have Voters Diary for you, and so talking about the challenges and so on that we have in our different communities. Elections is coming up, and it's important for us to get the right information that we need, get all the details, the history, the reasons why the patterns of voting have gone the way they've gone, and so on and so forth. You need all that information, and Voters Diary is that show that's going to bring you all that information right from 1 o'clock on radio. You can join at 97.3 City FM, and then on TV you can join us at 3 p.m. for the TV edition of Voters Diary.
Now, this Saturday is the grand finale of Keyboard Idol at exactly 6 p.m. We will start the journey to finding out who takes home that 10,000 Ghana Cedi grand prize. Remember that it's by invitation only, so you can call us for more information.
Yep. And voting. So that number, the short code hasn't changed. It's *447 *973#. On that day, you need to vote. So send that short code to all your constituencies. The friends, family, loved ones, supporters, fans, everybody else. And our sponsors for Keyboard Idol are Faith Works Music School, Santo Energy, and Asanka by Tech Aid. Yeah, so we want to say a big thank you to them for fantastically supporting us all through the competition right up to the finale, which is on Saturday.
Yes, and that's been a great show. We started out looking at what's going on in Nigeria, We hope that things will be right.
Yeah.
12 candidates for president have all now found out where they belong. Some people are saying it's the second coming of Christ. Some people are saying he's the ultimate Christ. Wherever you are, at least now we know who we'll be voting for and what number we will use. And it's important. But if you're just joining us, don't forget that our YouTube page is CityTube. So you can go onto CityTube, like, comment, share. And don't forget to subscribe. It's really important so that you'll be updated on all the shows that we have right here on City TV.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us this morning. Tomorrow we'll come back your way again. Keep watching City TV. We have different shows coming up during the day, and don't miss any of them at all. All right. My name is David Kwaku.
And I am Dziffa, aka Ametam. Stay safe. Let's end this week strongly. And we have just one more week to go, and then we'll be in November. So we need to do the best that we can. Happy birthday to Obed. He's in our sales department.
Yes. And Rodney.
They are the Rodney's in marketing. Yes. So they take care of all the branding and everything else, the lovely designs you see, all the campaigns we have. Rodney and Noah, they are the brains behind it, and our salaries are taken care of by Obed and the team over at sales. So happy birthday, guys. We hope you enjoyed this day. And belated happy birthday to the beautiful Frema and
yeah.
I have never seen that many cakes in my entire life. Yesterday we had like cakes overload. So on behalf of City, we thank everyone who sends Frema a birthday cake because we thoroughly enjoyed the cakes.
Fantastic. Take care of yourselves and enjoy your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
After several weeks of